Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is Asad Yaqub from Lahore, Pakistan, and thank you very much for liking my videos, for appreciating me, and for making me popular. Believe me, it's all because of you guys, and I'm really down to earth. I'm so humble, and still I sleep on the floor every night. Anyways guys, the purpose of making this video is there is a sort of anxiety in Ielts test takers, and throughout the world many Ielts test takers, they have shared their experience, and there is one phenomena which is happening with everyone all over the world in Ielts. That is what I'm going to share with you. Very recently, one of my students, he appeared in Ielts and he complained. He was from India and he complained, sir, I was actually, when I started my answer in speaking part 1, after a couple of sentences, examiners, they intercepted me, they interrupted me, and then they asked another question. Then I started my answer. I had said only 2-3 sentences, and then once again examiner interrupted me and asked another question, and this is how the things are going on. In Q card, another student from Pakistan complained that they did not give me 2 minutes. Cambridge standard is for Q card 1 to 2 minutes. But what they are doing now, after 1 minute, they stop the candidates. This is happening all over the world. And in part 3, which is called discussion, they again interrupt the students, they ask more questions, and now the Ielts speaking test that is meant to be conducted in 11 to 13 minutes according to Cambridge standard. Ielts speaking test should be conducted in 11 to 13 minutes. That test has squeezed into 7 to 9 minutes all over the world, mainly in Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Arab countries. Some students are really nervous about it. One student complained that, sir, my speaking test was over in 8 minutes. And then he said, sir, because they were saying it's the prayer time and we have this and that was the prayer time and there was the fasting month and all that. So they finished my speaking test in just 8 minutes, sir. Will I be able to get good bench score because they only took my test in 8 minutes? Another student said, sir, they were always interrupting me. I was trying to answer in 4-5 sentences, but they were interrupting me and then asking more questions. Like, you know, the examiners, they are always looking in a hurry. When you take your speaking test, it sounds like there are many other sheep outside and they've got to call them in and they want to get rid of you, and even at times they record your test and then shift it to the examiner to check and all that. And some of the people who conduct the test, the speaking test I'm talking about, they are not the examiners. They only record and then they send it forward and all that. Anyways, let me tell you, there isn't anything negative about it. Because you know, the examiners, they have to evaluate you. They have to check a certain level of English, right? So they can just do it in 7 to 8 minutes as well. And especially they focus speaking part 2. In part 1, they ask you questions, you answer, try to keep your answers short, up to 4 sentences, up to 5 sentences, but sometimes they don't even allow to speak 4-5 sentences. They interrupt and another question, another question, another question. Like they want to say, okay, finish your test and get out, and the next one and the next, like that. So this is happening. But in speaking part 2, they would give you at least 1 minute time. So please prepare the cue cards very well, speak very well in speaking part 2, because there they are going to determine your bench score. And then we've got speaking part 3, which is called discussion. Again, they will check your language ability, how to use past tense, present, future, prediction, contrast, forecast, and all that stuff, right? So you need to prepare that well. But there is another thing. I mean, examiners are in a hurry. There are hundreds of students who are taking their Ielts test. There are 4 dates of Ielts test everywhere in the world in a month, right? So they are overloaded with the work, but then the outcome is low bench scores. You might have noticed, I mean, this is speaking. If the examiners are treating the candidates like this in speaking, what would they do in writing when you guys are not there to see? See that? I mean, this is logical, huh? If in speaking they are trying to get rid of the candidates, then what would they do with writing? They would take a bird eye view and then give the band score. That is why when students apply for EOR on speaking and reading, most of the time their score increases. I've noticed that. So I would say, this is the responsibility of Cambridge University to make sure if speaking test time is 11 to 13 minutes, it should be done in 11 to 13 minutes, not like 7-8 minutes that we are fasting. Today is Friday, we have to offer the prayer and all that. And I heard another thing, they should have checked all the systems. In India, there was a problem with their audio system and they started reading test first and then they started with listening test. They don't understand. Students have a lot of anxiety when there is any shift like that. Let me tell you, in Lahore, one of my students, he went to take his Ielts speaking test. Now look at the situation. The test starts. My student, that candidate, he starts answering the question. After 3 minutes, examiner realizes that the examiner missed something which he or she had to say in the beginning about the test, and then the examiner becomes nervous and requests that student, please go outside and I'll call you after 5 minutes. For examiner, it's normal because they have some SOPs, standard of procedures, which they have to follow, and I think the examiner forgot about that. But when they sent that student out, the student who was already nervous, he became double nervous that why in the middle of my test they sent me out of the room and now they are calling me again. They called him again. The guy was totally upset and he failed to perform as per his potential in the speaking test. And then he called me and I said, you just call them right away, tell them what they did with you, and if they do not compensate you with another speaking test later date, just tell them that I'm going to complain Cambridge University. He did the same and then they apologized. They called him again for his speaking test and he performed well over there and he got his required band. Because students, even a little thing can change their mind and then their performance, and then they never reach their real potential. Now just imagine you go to take your Ielts test, right? And it will start with listening. And then they tell you, we have some problem with our audio devices, so we will start the test with reading. But sequentially your mind is prepared, mentally you are prepared, first listening, then reading, then writing, and they give you reading first. After doing 1 hour lengthy reading, your mood, your feeling, your mental capacity, your state of mind is changed altogether, and then they say now our audio system is fixed, so let's just go on with listening now. So this is not fair. I would say this is not fair. They have to take care of this matter. This is very, very serious, and at some points they do one thing. Today headphones are not working. Listening will be done on open speakers. So they're doing like that as well. They are charging high fees. They should book a room, that hall 1 day before, and they should conduct the rehearsal a day before so that on the day of exam there isn't anything like that. I'm making this video to protest because I know some of the examination centers, they watch my videos as well. So I'm making this video to protest that you guys are charging so much, right? Then in speaking, you're not giving full time to the students. In 7 to 8 minutes, you get rid of the students and next, because every student is $1, okay, right? Every student is equal to around $200, right? That's what they are doing. And then the test should be conducted in the proper sequence. And if you guys are getting rid of speaking candidates, what will you do with their writing test? Then it's going to be like with your closed eye, tick and cross, end result 5 band. Tick and cross, end result 5.5 band, and you never give 7 band or 7.5 bands unless somebody applies for EOR. Then they say, okay, EOR, now let's read why this candidate has applied for EOR. Now let's read properly, and then this candidate deserves 7 actually, and we gave him 5.5. That's what happened with my student. 5.5 in speaking and EOR gave him 7 bands. So please be alert. If anything bad happens with you, if you go through any negative experience, any bad experience, please share that with me and I will be your voice. I'm telling you, my channel Asad Yaqub will be your voice. Any complaint you've got, anything bad happens, anything you see, at times I've noticed that the examiners are a bit disrespectful to the candidates as well. So if anything happens like that, do point that out and I'm going to tell everybody and we're going to protest about that. You guys pay the money, you deserve full respect, you deserve full time for your test, you deserve fair results, you deserve fair checking, you deserve fair evaluation, and definitely they will have to do it. If you like this video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe my channel. I also teach Ielts online. If you want to join my online Ielts classes, my WhatsApp number is given. You can contact me for that. Asad Yaqub wishes you all the best. Take care. Allah Hafiz.